Hello and welcome back to another Walking Dead video, and today I want to talk about the Clark family and the early characters from Fear the Walking Dead and discuss how did they adapt so quickly to the apocalypse compared to the main show characters. If we looked at the survivors from both shows, it is obvious that the Fear characters from season 1 to 3 are way more dangerous and powerful than the main show counterparts. If both groups met this early on, it's clear the Fear characters would win in a fight. It's that simple, as by the time Rick wakes up in season 1, the Fear characters have already learned the guts trick, killed many walkers and people, and even learned how to survive in this new world. But then the Atlanta group have not done any of that in the same period of time, and most of them still have not even killed a walker yet. The Atlanta group also do not even know yet that everyone's infected, whereas the Fear characters already knew this and have known since the fall of LA. So it is clear that Rick's group was a little slow at adapting at the start of the outbreak. Even characters that have been considered to have adapted fast, like Shane, are still nothing compared to their Fear counterparts. So let's go back to the main question. How did the Clarks adapt so quickly? Personally, I believe it is because of two main reasons, and one of them is that the characters in Fear are way more damaged than the main show characters and had certain traits which made them more prepared for this new world. Looking at some of the main characters from Fear, we have Madison, a widow who lost her husband to suicide, but she has also shot and killed her father when she was young. So Madison, going into the apocalypse, knows what it is like to lose a loved one tragically and knows that people can't be trusted, even the ones close to you, and she knows that she can kill people. Then there is Nick, a drug addict who feels lost in the world, and as he said in season 1, he felt he was already living in the apocalypse and now everyone's catching up to him. And then there's Daniel, a veteran that fought in the Civil War in El Salvador. A lot like Madison, he knows what it takes to kill and he knows the threat that people can be. And finally, there is Victor Strand, a con man that would do anything to save himself. A man that does not care who he hurts as long as he's on top. And people like this really did have a leg up going into the apocalypse, as these people were different some sort of way and they had traits which the apocalypse lets them use and even rewarded them for using. And with people like Madison and Daniel in the group, the Clarks knew that people were dangerous even before having their first encounter. And that helped them to be the ones to act first in season 1 episode 6 when they led walkers to kill the army. The group did not have any issues with killing them because they knew that Nick would die and that they would die too if they did not escape before the bombs came. If this was Rick's group, however, they would have half the season talking about should they do it or should they not and the ethics about that. However, this is not the only reason why they adapted so quickly. Their past did help them get through those first few days, but the Fear cast was always on the move and constantly encountering new threats. In Fear, the group deal with the military, which pretend to be their heroes, but then are revealed to be secretly planned to kill them. Then once they escape LA, there's no time to rest and they're suddenly attacked by pirates, and they saw that the world was gone and that they are on their own. Then in Mexico, they deal with the cartel, the Ottos, and then finally the Proctors. All of this happened before Rick and the group get to the CDC, and during this time each member of the group is forced to kill at some point, and each member of the group is forced to survive on their own too. So the Clarks adapted so quickly to the apocalypse because of how unlucky they were right from the start. They went from one problem to another with little to no break in between. They got thrown into the deep end of the apocalypse and saw what the world was like, while Rick and the Atlanta group was mostly sheltered from the outbreak for the first couple of months. And while the Clarks were fighting their way out of LA, the Atlanta group was in the woods watching the bombing of Atlanta and then hid in the quarry for 2 months waiting for the army to come. So that is how I think the Clarks and the Fear characters adapted so quickly. They really just had the worst start possible, but enough skills and luck to be able to survive the apocalypse. So this is it for me today, and thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later. Goodbye.